Good evening, visitors, and welcome to the Australian War Memorial's Last Post ceremony. My name is Jared Pratt, and joining us today from the Royal Australian Air Force is Flight Lieutenant Robert Nieuwenhoven. We welcome the veterans who have served, those that are still serving, and the families that love and support them. We acknowledge the members of RSL and Services Clubs Association, RSL Victoria and RSL Queensland, who are watching the broadcast of this ceremony from across Australia. During this evening's ceremony, wreaths will be laid at the base of the pool of reflection by visitors to the memorial. If able, please stand and join in singing the National Anthem. If able, please be seated. The Australian War Memorial was the vision of Charles Bean, Australia's First World War official historian. Bean landed with the Australian troops on Gallipoli and stayed with them at the front through until the end of the war. The idea of this national memorial and museum came to him at Pozières, France, in the depths of the bloody fighting of 1916. Bean's idea was that this would be a place where families and friends could mourn loved ones buried in faraway places. It would also be a place that could help all Australians understand what these men and women had endured and what they had done for us. Bean's vision, to which we remain true, is best expressed as inscribed in the entrance to the memorial's galleries. Here is their spirit, in the heart of the land they loved, and here we guard the record which they themselves made. Tonight, we will read the story behind just one of those on the Roll of Honour, which lists the names of more than 102,000 men and women who have given their lives for us in war and on operations for more than a century. But first, we present a lament, Flowers of the Forest. Wreaths or floral tributes will now be laid at the base of the pool of reflection.
Today, we remember and pay tribute to Private Cyril Ralph Finch. Cyril Finch was born on the 6th of October 1898 to William and Charlotte Finch of Hobart. Educated at the Trinity Hill State School in Hobart, he went on to work as a dairyman. Cyril was 15 years old when war broke out in August 1914. 6 months later, he enlisted for service at the age of 16, presenting at the enlistment office with a signed letter of permission from his mother and putting his age up by 2 years to do so. Cyril followed in the footsteps of his brother William, who, although below regulation height, was deemed a strong, sturdy fellow and accepted as a driver in the artillery. Unlike Willie, however, Cyril was considered fit for the infantry and was posted to the 12th Battalion. He underwent a period of training in Australia before leaving for active service on board the troop ship Hororata on the 17th of April 1915. Private Finch was first sent to Egypt, but spent little time there before being sent on to Gallipoli to try to make up for the heavy casualties of the Dawn landing. He wrote home in September to say, "We have taken part in several engagements since landing at the peninsula, the most important of which was just before I left. We made a charge at a place called Lone Pine. Our losses were pretty heavy, but we captured 3 trenches and succeeded in keeping the Turks back until fresh troops came to our assistance, when they got a lively time from our boys." After 10 weeks in the trenches, Finch's health gave out and he was evacuated for treatment. He wrote, "They have sent me out of the trenches at Gallipoli on account of sickness. I thought we were being sent to Lemnos Island, but luck was with us as they sent our lot on to Malta." He added, "It is a relief for me to be away from the noise of the big guns." After a week on Malta, Finch was sent to St Thomas's Hospital in London. Diagnosed with a form of rheumatism, Finch was not fit to return to his battalion until March 1916, spending just a few days with the 12th Battalion in Egypt before they were sent on to France. By mid-May, the 12th Battalion was in the front line in a quieter section of the Western Front, gaining valuable experience in trench warfare conditions. Finch later wrote home to say that he had taken part in some raids on German positions and apparently was due to receive a month's furlough in England as a reward. In August 1916, the 12th Battalion took part in its first major operation on the Western Front, near the French village of Pozières. On the 21st of August, 2 companies of the 12th Battalion attacked German positions near Mouquet Farm, successfully capturing their objectives. Further waves of the battalion advanced to bring up tools and help consolidate the position. At some point around this attack, Private Cyril Finch was killed in action. Although his official date of death is listed as the 19th of August, 2 days before the attack near Mouquet Farm, it is likely to have been 2 days later. His cousin, Private Stanley Carrick, who was also in the 12th Battalion, later wrote home to say, "Poor fellow, I was not more than 20 yards away from him when he fell. I would have liked to have gone to him to render what assistance I could, but we were charging at the time and I could not stop." Finch was killed and his body was lost in the artillery fire. Today, he is commemorated on the Australian National Memorial at Villers-Bretonneux. Cyril Finch was deeply mourned by his family, particularly his brothers and sisters, who posted notices to his memory for many years after the war. In August 1919, with the war over, Cyril's brother Willie and one of his sisters put the following words in the local newspaper. "Victory is with our dear allies. Oh, those words sound nice. But oh, the sad, sad hearts of those whose loved ones paid the price. When I see the brave boys returning, my heart throbs with pain to think you are not there, dear Cyril, and will never come home again. His name is listed on the Roll of Honour to my right, among almost 62,000 Australians who died while serving in the First World War. His photograph is displayed today beside the pool of reflection. This is but one of the many stories of service and sacrifice told here at the Australian War Memorial. We now remember Private Cyril Ralph Finch, who gave his life for us, for our freedoms, and in the hope of a better world.
Please stand for the reading of the Ode and the sounding of the last post.
They shall grow not old, as we who are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember them.
We will remember them.
Lest we forget.
Lest we forget. We leave you this evening with the words of the memorial's founder, Charles Bean. Many a man lying out there at Pozieres, or in the low scrub at Gallipoli, with his poor tired senses barely working through the fever of his brain, has thought in his last moments, well, it's over. But in Australia, they will be proud of this. Ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, that concludes the last post ceremony. We thank you all for visiting the Australian War Memorial and wish you all a very good evening. Thank you.